he's thinking he's making $600, right? Once he clears all his expenses. No, that's not. No, you're not. Sorry, you're not making $142 an hour, dude. Guess how much he was making? Last week, a limo company owner told me he made $1,000 for a 7-hour job. But I had to tell him the truth. He was actually losing money. And so in this video, I'm going to reveal why he was losing money, because that sounds crazy, and why you might be making the same exact mistake. Okay, so last week I was on the phone with a client based in New York who just does sprinters. And it's so funny because as we were on the phone, I knew this would be the perfect thing to talk about here because I see this very often. So here was the thing. He gave me a call or messaged our team, and he said, you know what, guys, I think I'm going to stop advertising. The results just are not where they need to be, and I'm just not making enough money to make this work. And so whenever that happens, I do several things. The first thing is I go into the CRM that they use. So that's just some software that keeps track of their leads. We make sure that all of their leads they're getting from us are going to the same place and have the right attribution. Did it come from Google ads, Bing ads? Was it an SEO lead, right? Because we want to know exactly how many leads they're getting, how many of those leads they're able to quote, and then how many of those quotes book with them. And then really, most importantly, how many of those bookings turn into repeat clients. So the first thing I do is I check out their Google ads, their Bing ads. If they're doing SEO with us, I check out their rankings, but this client wasn't. It was just pay-per-click only. And so when I went into his CRM, I was a little surprised, but not really, because I've had this happen so many different times. And so the first thing I did, because what doesn't work when you're talking to someone, and I'm sure you've all been in this situation where you're very confident that you know what the solution is, but you cannot shove it down someone's throat, right? You really have to get their buy-in. And so telling never works. Asking the right questions does. And so I started asking him, why do you think this isn't working? Why do you think you aren't closing very many? And essentially the issue he thought was he's just not getting enough opportunities. And so when I went into a CRM, the great thing about this, it's just, I believe it's customer relationship management. That's the acronym. We are able to see all of the text messages, emails, and calls, inbound and outbound, placed to the leads he is getting. And guess what I found? Big shocker here. So just in the last 10 most recent leads in the last 2 days, there were 4 that had no reply. Meaning we set up an automated message that goes out when someone fills out a form. It sends them a text and it lets them know, hey, for most limo companies, we have it say, hey, especially those with sprinters or buses, hey, it's Mark with Mark's Limos. Thanks for requesting a quote. In order to get you the best rate possible, we have a few more questions and we'll be calling you from this number. And it really just sends the number that you're texting them from, because we like our clients to call their clients from the CRM, because then that call is recorded. And so when I went into his CRM, big shocker, almost half the leads in the last 10 that I checked weren't getting responses. And the other ones that I listened to, one of them went to a phone tree, which, look, there's nothing wrong with phone trees unless it's a new customer, okay? I hate phone trees. If you're watching this, has anyone ever said they love phone trees? No one likes phone trees, right? Because it feels like a giant waste of time, right? Press 1 for this, press 2 for that. Here's the thing. If you're doing any sort of Google ads, Bing ads, Facebook ads, any sort of online advertising with landing pages, not just your website, which I recommend. Watch our other videos on why you should use a landing page versus a website. But those people calling from your ads, those are new clients, right? That's the whole reason you're running ads, is to get new clients. So sending them to a phone tree, does that make a lot of sense, right? For sales, press 1. Well, obviously it's for sales, right? Because the truth is, if they want a job, they shouldn't be calling anyways. I'm just kidding, of course. That does happen, unfortunately. There's not much you can do about it. But so that was another thing we talked about. I wanted it to go directly to someone. And so then we got to talking because I wanted to find out, okay, what's going on here? Who's handling these leads? Do you have someone? Are you doing it? I pretty much knew he wasn't doing it, because whenever the owner's doing it, these problems don't happen, because the owner always cares the most. And so I started asking him, and I thought I knew the answer to this question. I was completely proven wrong, and I almost felt a little weird because I was so sure I was right. And so I asked him, well, first off, are you handling it? I knew that was going to be no. Who's handling it? I have someone. Okay. Is it like an agency? Oh, it's someone. And so come to find out, they're in Serbia. Fine. Great. I understand lower cost labor. And then I said, and I'm assuming you're just paying him an hourly, right? No commission? And he said, no, I'm paying him commission. And so I figured it might be something like 0.5%. You know, the commissions are usually very low that I hear. I was floored when he told me 5%. Now, keep in mind, this guy's average job is $800, okay? So a 5% commission is $40, right? And in Serbia, $40? Are you kidding me? That's pretty good money. So I was surprised to hear that, because the truth is, if it's someone, first off, the calls that this person's doing, the most important thing the owner of this business can do, and this is kind of one of the themes of this video, is doing the sales themselves, right? And here's the trap that I have found that most operators get into, that never allows them to get out of the driver's seat. Part of it's affiliate work, right? So you go and do affiliate work, and you might have some really big clients that give you a lot of business, and they want you, right? They want you. And that's essentially what happened when I was speaking with Raphael, because I said, look, Raphael, what do you think the most valuable position in your business is? I apologize. Let's back up. So I asked him, I said, Raphael, why can't you do the sales? It's the most important thing in your business. By the way, I kind of already knew this answer, right? But I wanted him to say it, right? Again, can't shove it down people's throats. You start with a line of questioning. So why can't you? Well, this is a perfect example, Mark. I'm about to head out right now for a 7-hour job that I'm being paid $1,000 on, right? And when he said it, I could tell he was happy about that, right? It sounds like, and granted, it's a sprinter, right? And he's doing affiliate work, right? Because he's probably, the end client's probably paying closer to maybe $200 an hour, maybe $175. And so it's an affiliate job. And I said, well, how much are you making on that job? About 140 an hour. I said, but do you know how much you're making on that job? Like, you personally, how much you're making? And he said, oh, well, I'll clear probably $600 after expenses. And so this is the biggest impediment to growth, because in the short term, and I guarantee you half of you watching this or more, this applies to, especially once you get to the couple $100,000 a year mark, you're going to hit this spot to where you want to advertise, you want to grow, but the person that should be talking to those customers, those potential customers, is you, right? You know more about your business, most times more about the area, you care more, just, you name it, it's your advertising dollars being spent. You care so much more. And can you find someone? Can you find someone to do the job? Well, he obviously did, but it wasn't being done, right? Even with supposedly a very nice commission structure, he was not closing sales. Out of I believe he got about 70 leads or so, sprinter leads. And again, his average job size is $800, okay? So, and he was, spending around $2,000 a month on ads. And so the truth is, plus paying agency, but the truth is, out of those 70 leads, what if he converted, 15% of those leads, right? That would be like pretty much 10 jobs. I mean, what if he converted 20% of those? That'd be 14 jobs, that's over $11,000, right? Now it's working, but it's this right here, right? He's thinking he's making $600, right? Once he clears all his expenses. No, you're not. Sorry, you're not making $142 an hour, dude. Even if it was 600 after expenses, which that's actually what he thought he was going to clear. He thought he was going to clear $600. And that's, so he's making about what, 90 an hour or so, a little under 90 an hour. That's what he thought. Wrong. Guess how much he was making? That's how much he was making. Do you know why? It's because that's how much he would pay someone to do that job. Now, of course, you can always argue, and in some cases it might be true. There are certain clients that when you drive them, maybe they're a huge account, right? And by the way, this is the other thing that does it. Whether it's an affiliate, I mean, they're both clients, right? Whether it's a big affiliate that gives you a lot of work or a big client, when you're behind the wheel, I mean, really, at some point, it has to end. And by the way, again, I wasn't preaching. I kept asking questions. Raphael, what do you think your business, what's your goal? Grow. I want to, would you like to have a 7-figure a year business? I would love to have a 7-figure a year. Well, how much do you think you'd be driving? Do you think I'd be really busy? I'm like, okay, let's pretend you have a $10 million a year business. Oh, I wouldn't be driving. Okay. So what I was trying to communicate is, here's the thing. Will there be accounts that maybe you even lose because you can't be driving? Yes, expect it. Expect that to happen. But if long-term you have a vision and you want to be a 7-figure company, right? Or multiple 7 figures, right? 3, 4, 5 million a year, the driving has to go. The driving has to go, unfortunately. You have to find good people to do that for you. And every client that I've ever seen, and now doing this 8 years, I've seen so many start from $5,000 a month that are now doing multiple millions. It's cool when you're work with a certain industry for a long time and you help them grow their businesses, because you can really see the evolution, not just of their business, but of the person and how they think, right? My most successful clients, they're always trying to learn. They're always networking. A lot of times they have one or several mentors, right? Because the truth is, if you want to take that next step, you need to find someone who's already done it. Find someone who's there. And by the way, look, I've never scaled a limo company. I've watched hundreds of operators do so. And the ones who get stuck, they're stuck because it's very hard to trade that $600 in 7 hours. That's the number on his mind. Now he said, oh, they only want me. So I've had that before. I think every business has that, right? Where they're like, I want to work with you. Well, at some point, the truth is, and it hurts, especially if it's been a long time client, because you almost feel like you're abandoning them, right? But the truth is, if you do have ambitions to be a multi 7-figure a year operator, well, there's some things you have to give up. And in the short run, you will likely make less money. And so I told him this. I said, look, if you're really serious, on Monday, let's go over how your CRM works again. Let's get you trained on it. This person that he has working for him, I told him he needs to be using the CRM so I can hear those phone calls. But the most important thing was letting him know, look, you need to have more of an active role in this, because that is the most valuable thing you can be doing, is getting new customers and building his online reputation. I searched his company name in Google, and you can do this for your company name. Search your business name plus the city and state. And do you have a Google business profile? If you've set one up, you obviously know you have one, right? Like, well, most people do, unless they paid someone to set them up. Extremely valuable. It's free, but it is tough to get one. You have to do video verification. You have to be a legit business, which actually, I know it's a pain, but it's actually good because it keeps away like fake people that just want to sell the leads themselves, right? And that was another thing we discussed, but I'll save that for another video, the online reputation. This week's video, I just wanted to really get most of you out there that do have those ambitions to realize that you will have to give up in the short term some things to really grow. And look, you need to find good people because at a certain point, there's only so much you can do. And if something has to go, you start handing off those tasks that are $20, $30 an hour tasks, because you trade it for, when you're doing sales over the phone, that's $100, $200 an hour task, maybe even more. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you on next week's video.